What do your circle look like now?
I don't have a circle. I have a.
It ain't gotta be friends, but it's people that's.
I don't want no friends, cause when I look back on my life, a lot of the shit that I went through, it wasn't because of what I did. It was who I was associated with. I didn't have somebody telling me like, "Yo, Sue, you better than that shit." They was cheering me on like, "Go girl, go get that bread. Okay, fly to this, fly to that." But when I was flat on my ass and needing help, none of them was nowhere to be found. If I couldn't help them, you live by niggas and money, you gonna die by, excuse my language, men and money. And that's when I had to, like, yo, I don't want no more sugar daddy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no more purposeless relationships. I don't want to deal with you because I feel like I have to. If you're sexually active and the person you're sexually active with is not helping you, and it's not only financial. See, women get so caught up in the financial part. You could be sponsored and still be a lost, miserable soul. You feel me? If he's not pouring into you spiritually, emotionally, or financially, if you're not mentally, if you're not elevating from the substance of the people you have around you, you don't need around you. Everybody's so caught up for a check. Oh, I'm on demon time. Listen, that shit come with bad energy and spirit. So you might be getting that money for the time being, but you're not sleeping. You're losing weight. You're stressed out. You got acne. You in and out of jail. You in and out the clinic. You feel me? Like yo.
In and out the clinic. All right, welcome to the Rich and Unemployed Uncut. And before we get started, man, make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel. We're growing very fast. And make sure you guys check out the merch. The link is in the description. And we have a very special guest. I know I say that all the time, but this one is actually very special. She has a very unique story, and I think that a lot of women can relate to it. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Chinks.
That's the old me, but we could start there.
You don't got to touch the mic at all.
Okay.
It's going to do what it do.
So if you know me from the 2017, 2018, even the 2019, you might know me as Chinks, Chinky Eyes. But if you know me after the level up, you know me as Suzette or Miss Samuel. So whatever you want to
Miss Samuels
address me as, depending on what we're talking about.
Now, you're this real estate agent.
Yes.
You look very, very polished.
Thank you.
Look very professional, but you don't look like what you've been through.
Correct.
And I want to get the story behind this right here, because this right here, it just looks like,
my shit is together.
Yeah, your shit is together, and it hasn't always been that way.
Correct. Shit, it still ain't that way,
Oh, from the looks of it, look like you got your shit together. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't worried for nothing.
Right.
But, you've been in the industry, OnlyFans, strip clubs.
I did it all.
Streets, jail,
sugar daddy,
booty shots, surgeries.
Everything.
We're going to get into all that. So.
Said booty shots.
Had to mention that.
Definitely, no, because it's important.
Where you from?
I'm from New York. I'm from the Bronx, New York. Shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Atlanta in 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
And before you moved to Atlanta, before you were in videos and stuff, like, who was Suzette?
I mean, I was in videos before I moved to Atlanta, but I really moved to Atlanta to be a square. So I was in New York. You know how it is in New York. Rent is expensive, okay?
Yeah.
And not even just rent. My child care loan was $1,000 a month. 2 kids, single parent, y'all do the math. You got to work a 9 to 5. You got to sell fish dinners. You got to rob a nigga. You got to do what you got to do, when you're from New York. They say if you make it there, you can make it anywhere. And I just got tired of the hustle and bustle. But, fighting a case, I did go to college. I did get my degree in psychology. I was a caseworker. And I pretty much moved to Atlanta just to really, be on some square-ish. Like, you know what? I'm going to work my 9 to 5. I'm going to come home with my kids. I'm going to get out the streets, and I'm going to just be a mom.
When you say the streets, what were the streets for you?
Man, everything.
You say you was homeless, right? You lived in a shelter?
Yeah. So, I was put in the system at 16.
Yeah.
I had my first daughter at 19. I was in a shelter. I was in a domestic violence situation. My first apartment was the project. So, I know what it is to be on food stamps, Medicaid, all that good shit.
Yeah.
But, it gets to a point where you just want more than that. You know, the system is meant to keep us stagnated. You know, we get that free 570, or at least that's what I was getting in food stamps, and not even realizing that's costing my freedom, my financial freedom. So I'm hiding my income. I'm not putting money in the bank, and not putting money in the bank, you're not qualifying for shit. But I'm just focused on the free 570 in food stamps that I'm getting. I'm not educated on the other aspect because that's something they're not teaching us. I didn't realize how much in bondage I was living until I moved to Atlanta.
And what you moved to Atlanta to be a square.
Yeah.
But in New York, you were what, savage? Like,
I was a savage. Listen.
Explain.
I don't want to incriminate myself. I don't want to come off this podcast, you know, with indictments and shit.
Yeah.
But
it's over.
I had to do.
It's over.
I did what I had to do to survive. Like I said, single parent, raising 2 daughters. You know, baby fathers ain't shit.
You was a drug dealer.
No, I was not a drug dealer. I might have rolled with the drug dealers, but no, I wasn't selling drugs. But
you was moving drugs.
No, listen.
It was something with drugs.
I did what I had to do, okay?
It was something with drugs.
I did what I had to do, and at the same time, you know, I had just tapped into the urban industry. You know, I had got my body done. I was modeling. I was hosting. I was in magazines. I was in videos. And I really moved to Atlanta on some, I'm going to get a job. Yeah. You know, I have a degree in psychology. I was doing case management in New York. So I actually secured a job. That's what nobody knows. I secured a place of employment to be a social worker prior to even moving to Atlanta. So let me tell you how that happened. I came to Atlanta, first of all, visiting. I went to Blue Flame. You know, the manager seen how when I walked in, you know, heads was turning. I'm 5'10". I'm a tall female. You know, I look how I look. So it's like, you're going to look at me for 1 or 2 reasons, right? And I asked him, I said, listen, y'all hiring? Because I'm planning on moving out here in a couple of months. And he was like, listen, I got a bartender position right now, but I'm going to hold it for you. So when you said you coming down here, I'm like, June. Like, he literally held that position for me. And it's crazy because you have to get a background check to work in the clubs in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I did my background check, not only for the clubs, but for the place of employment that I was supposed to work at. As far as on the social work side, I was going to do that during the day. And I was going to be in the club at night because I had goals. I wanted to buy a house. I just wanted to do certain things that seemed impossible in New York. Did my background check, did not hear from the job, but I was cleared to go in Blue Flame. You know, and the rest is history. Started working at the Flame, you know, got my name a little lit. You know, my social media was popping, and
so down to 9 to 5, you would say.
I was like, listen,
straight to the club.
I was making like $2,000 on a bad week, bartending, like not even stripping, but bartending. So it was like regular job work. Like, oh, this is what I was supposed to be doing, you know.
So you was getting all the attention because your body.
I mean, just everything. Like my body, yeah, but I feel like once you open your mouth and you have personality, you have intellect. It takes you further than, you know, the women that is just the body. And you know, that was the case with me. And I got fired. You know, the person I replaced was hating, got me fired. That's a whole nother story. We'd be here all day talking about that.
You got fired from Blue Flames.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, I bounced around until I made my name in Follies. So when I started working at Follies, like, I was the talk of the town. Like, dudes was coming to the club, like, damn, so you the girl that everybody's talking with that just started working here? Because people couldn't understand why I wasn't on stage. Like, shorty, why you not on stage? Why you not stripping? And in real life, I'm shy. So that wasn't me. And even at Follies, I was waitressing until a bartender position became open. And that was my breakthrough. Like, I came to Atlanta, I started doing radio interviews, was doing videos, and I really, like, set my name on that mark.
Hold up, wait. I know the episode is getting really, really good. Before we dive any deeper, I want you guys to go ahead and check out the website and get you some merch, www.richunemployed.net. The link is in the description. These headscarves are available. I got t-shirts available. I got hoodies. I got caps. Go ahead and show your support for this brand, this platform, and let's get back to the episode. So let's speak about your body. What was the reason that you got your body done? If you're shy, what made you get your body done? Because that's going to draw attention to you.
Right. So when I got pregnant with my second daughter, I lost everything. I lost my car. I lost my place of employment. At the time, I was working at it was like a group home for disabled adults. So we was responsible for like getting them out the wheelchair, bathing them, making sure they was good. And I didn't find that I was pregnant until I was 4 months. I was on birth control. After my first daughter, I was done.
Mm-hmm.
Found out I was pregnant, and it was just a matter of, okay, you gonna continue working or you wanna carry this healthy baby full term? So I met a dude, which is so weird. He was from Atlanta, but he was living in New York, going to school. We started dating when I was like 6, 7 months, moved him in, was paying the bills, and I was just a stay-at-home, high-risk pregnant person. And I had to give up certain things because I couldn't afford it. I had to go on welfare. I lost my hustle. I lost everything. And it was just one of them, like, damn, do I get an abortion and keep my lifestyle? Because I'm buying like 2, 3 cars a year. My main sugar daddy was a lawyer at the time. You know, so I was like really in that life to where I was, and I want to clear something up real quick, because I hate when people say that women who get surgery are insecure. We're not insecure. I was very secure with my body, but let's be real, I started bartending and I wasn't getting booked. So I had to adapt to what was going on in society at the time. You know, the Melissa Fords, the Buffy the Bodies, they set the tone to where it was like, okay, if you didn't look like that, you wasn't getting booked. So after I had my daughter, Instagram just started popping. This was 2013, 2014. And I was watching all these girls with nice bodies make so much money, but their face was hit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang, with a face like mine, and if I, you know, if I have a little more ass or whatever, like I'm killing it. I'm never gonna be broke again. And that was my main thing. Like, as women, men will never understand what it's like to be a female, to have to put everything on hold to carry children. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets to a point where our health is on the line, and that's what I was facing. So I was like, you know what? When I drop this baby, it's on and popping. I really studied Instagram. I started studying like my followers, the times that I'm most active and stuff like that. And when I dropped my baby, I went and got my butt shots, did a couple of rounds, started getting casted for music videos. My first video was Troy Ave. I did a Jadakiss video. Like, you know, like I built my name off my body. I was the same person, the same girl, but because I had a little bit more butt, people was calling me like, hey, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. So for me, it wasn't an insecurity thing. It was like, yo, I'm coming off of welfare. I'm coming off these food stamps. I'm coming off this Medicaid. I got to provide for my babies, especially because my baby fathers wasn't doing it. So at that point, it was more like survival of the fittest. I learned how to survive. I learned how to adapt to my surroundings. And that's why I got my body done, because I was a ball player. I was comfortable with my skin. When I first got in the industry, it was all me, all natural. And then I'm like, okay. And we all know New York, if you ain't Spanish, so I was already at a disadvantage because of my complexion, but also because I ain't had no ass and no titties. You know what I'm saying? You know, you seen my pictures.
We're gonna post some.
So yeah, so it was just like, you know what? If this is what I gotta do, I had a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
If this is what I gotta do to accomplish that, then let's do it.
I like that you say adapt.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't think, you know, women go into it with that mindset, like, you know what, this is what's going on. I'm gonna use this to get here.
Right.
And it's like, you used your new body. You know what I'm saying? You already had a vision for it. Let me get this ass done. Let me go get this bread.
Listen, I had a sugar daddy when I was pregnant. Okay?
Not his baby.
Not his baby.
That's crazy.
The dude that I was with,
Ain't
I
no way.
caught while I was pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant, and this dude came into my life, moved in my crib, held shit down, and pretty much until the age of 2 was a father figure to my daughter. The only reason why we didn't work out, again, he from Atlanta. So he was like, yo, I want to go back to Atlanta. Come stay with me. He was used to the me being at home, the me ironing his shit. He was in school. He was working at the hospital. That wasn't me. So when I popped my baby out and I got back like on the grind, he was like, hold up, what's this? You feel me? Like, nah, I need you to stay home. And I'm just like, yo, dude, that was never me. You just caught me at a bad time in my life to where I had to do that to carry my baby full term. But I've always been a hustler. And that's the only reason why it didn't work out.
So back in 2014, was butt shots the thing, or was it?
Oh, that 2014 was the era.
But it's butt shots. They got BBLs. There was no like BBLs.
So see, for me, again, I was athletic. So BBL what? BBL, you gotta be, not
have
overweight, but you gotta have some type of fat to where they could suck the fat out in order to put it in your butt. I had a 6-pack before I started getting surgery.
Yeah.
Like I was a whole athlete.
Okay.
So BBL was not an option for me because I had no fat.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, they had a whole site just for communicating with girls who were tapped into that market. It's called the black market. Mm-hmm. So where people who are doing these butt shots, you could get online and hold conversations with whoever's getting their butt done by a popular doctor. And I actually got introduced to it by somebody who was already in the industry. Mm-hmm. And all I kept saying was, man, my kids is not going to get it out the mud how I had to get it out the mud. I had to do some things to survive. So I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure my kids is good, put up, came to Atlanta, seen how different it was from New York. My daughter, they wanted to leave her back in New York. She came to Atlanta getting straight A's, excelling. So it was just a whole shift for me, not only mentally and emotionally, but financially. And just as a parent, just as a mother, a single mother at that, like we don't really shed light on what single mothers have to go through. We live in a society where everybody want to judge people for what they're doing, but don't really know what we really go through on the back end. I'm not getting no damn child support. I can't call nobody if I'm short or rent or if I don't have some shit going on. I got to make it happen. And it's been like that my whole life, and that's all I know. Mm-hmm. We're going to cheers to that,
Cheers to that.
Yeah, we're going to cheers to that.
So, with these ass shots, you had to go. Something went wrong with these.
Okay, so which is crazy. I'm actually writing a book right now. So, but yeah, 2014, I did about 10 rounds. So it's a cap on how much they could actually inject in you at one time. I noticed every session I was just getting. I'm not gonna say famous, but I was getting more known.
Yeah.
Like I'm hanging out with rappers. I'm doing videos. I'm in clubs. I'm making so much money cash that I've never touched a day in my life.
The more injection you got, the ass
more
got bigger.
attention I got.
Yeah, okay.
But it wasn't even that. So with injections, it take a while for it to settle. Mm-hmm. So I was just on it every 30 days because I had a timeline in place. Mm-hmm. And then I was also running from an abusive ex-relationship. So my first baby father went to jail, did time. Had him on the alert to where they tell you when he coming home, knew he was coming home. So it was like, okay, I got to get out of here. So for me, it was just like, okay, bam, 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 no time to play, this is what I had to do. But my last session, I got sick. So before we even get into that, I did my research. I was supposed to be getting injected with hydrogel, which is 90% water-based. Our body is mainly composed of water. So if it's real hydrogel that they're using, there's no way that you're going to have a reaction or even let alone get sick.
Yeah.
No, my doctor, and I don't even know how long it's been, but that last session was what put me in the hospital in a coma. When I woke up, they pretty much told me, listen, we found silicone in your bloodstream. So what happened was she injected me, and I got sick right away on the table, but I didn't relate it to that. I didn't know, I didn't put two and two together. But basically, the silicone traveled to my lungs, and it got to the point where I couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. My daughter said I turned white. She called my mom. I went to lay down. My mother called the ambulance. I woke up in the hospital, priest over my body. I'm pronounced dead. The nurses, everybody's like, yo, this, it don't make sense. This girl was gone. And I had an out-of-body experience. So that's what prompted my shift into spirituality. I was raised in the church. I know God. I've got baptized as a child. But we all know we have to go through our actual own walk to really, not really be told, hey, this is what you're supposed to do, but really to have that encounter with him. And that was my first encounter spiritually. But still in all, I was too of this world. I came outside, and when I came out the hospital, I had an eviction notice on my door. So it was just okay, God, I hear you, but I got to get back to this money. Me and my kids need a roof to stay. And at that time, I was a bad person. I wasn't spending time with my kids. I was outside. I'm talking about, you can walk in the store, niggas in the store is fighting over who gonna pay your tab type shit. I'm at the gas station, I'm buying 2-3 cars a year, and they're fighting over who's paying for your gas. That's how my life was. You know what I mean? So to me, it was just I didn't see nothing wrong with it at the time. Mm-hmm. But, you know, my daughter started walking. She started bumping into the wall. She didn't have enough room to walk. Again, I was in the projects, and I just was like, yo, I need more than this. Started dating a dude out here in Atlanta. He was flying me back and forth, and I just was like, this is what y'all getting for y'all rent? Y'all get security, a pool, a gym? Like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? This is February 2016. Mm-hmm. I signed my lease June 2016, and I was gone. I was like, bye, New York. Because I knew I couldn't elevate. Like, I got arrested December 2015.
For what?
Listen, my weed man robbed me, left his shit in my house, and then was trying to say that I robbed him. Called police and said I had him at gunpoint. So police came in my crib, kicked my door down, was looking for this gun that he said I had, but all his stuff was in my crib. Because again, he tried to come back and get his stuff, but I'm like, yo, you just robbed me, so why would I even open my door? I'm a female. And I got booked for robbery.
When you say he robbed you,
yeah.
What did he take?
He took my money.
With a gun? No,
like, you know, he was the weed dude. So he would come over, you know, supply my weed. I was smoking heavy at the time, and I would pay him. And you know how, you know, you just comfortable. You go into the other room, and then you see he running for the front door with all your stuff. And in the process of him doing that, he left all his stuff and then tried to come back hours later like, yo, my phone's in there. My girl probably tried to call me. I'm like, yo, you're not coming back in here. He called police and was like, yo, she had me at gunpoint. She robbed me. My wallet, my clothes, everything is in her house. Police kicked my door down. Boom. Mm-hmm. Case ended up getting thrown out. Of course, he ain't come to court. But it was just, that was the it for me. Like, girl, you can't, because it was like, no matter how hard I tried to elevate, it was just some dumb shit always happening. And I was like, yo, I'm not going to make it out here. Like, I have to leave New York, you know? And then, you know, I started dating the dude or talking to the dude out here. He was flying me back, and I signed my lease, and I moved to Atlanta.
So being in the industry, how was it for you? Like, what did you go through? Because you was on World Star, you was in countless of videos, around rappers, you know, niggas wanting you.
You want to know what's crazy? I ain't really go through nothing in the industry. And that's really that's really because of somebody that I was under, and he didn't want me to be an industry hoe. So he supplied my every need. Mm-hmm. So I didn't have time, or I didn't have the need, I should say, to get caught up with the rappers or anything like that, because it was just like, listen, this is what I don't want you to be. I don't want you to be this girl. I don't want you to be that girl. Like, I want people to really look at you for who you are. And then, you know, he knew I had it in me to be something else. Mm-hmm. Like, he was my big break in the industry, you know, and even now to this day, like, I still get prison letters from inmates and stuff like that. Like, I've dropped calendars. I used to sell lingerie. I had a lingerie boutique. Mm-hmm. I've always had that entrepreneur spirit, and nothing I did was like, okay, this is it right here. It was always like, this is where I want to be, and these are the steps that I have to climb to get here. To anybody who can't understand it, you know, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really go through nothing crazy in the industry because I had that one person that nobody tried me because everybody knew I was connected to him. You know, if that makes sense.
Okay, I feel you. Okay. Now, hold up, wait. I know the episode is getting really, really good, but this right here is an ad space, and your ad could be here. If you got a product, if you got a service, if you want to build your brand, you can set an ad right here. So guys, if you guys are interested in putting an ad right here, go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram. If you're thinking about having product placement on the podcast, go ahead and reach out to me. If you guys want to sponsor a whole episode, a whole week, a whole month, a month will be about 8 episodes. If you want to, go ahead and tap in. Back to the episode. You were like the...
I'm looking at you like, what you about to ask me next?
You were like the first girl that was doing OnlyFans.
Yeah, so I was doing OnlyFans in like 2016, 2017 before it really. So everybody jumped on it when the pandemic hit, but I was like doing it before where everybody was like, "Damn, you a hoe, you this." But like I said, I had goals, you know, and I actually left the clubs. So I stopped bartending to do OnlyFans because I got into real estate school. It was hard. I was in real estate school from 9 to 6, and I had to be at the club from 10 to 4. So you tell me when I was sleeping, when I had time to study, or anything like that. And then I'm at the bar on a slow night making $1,000 in my phone on OnlyFans. So it got to the point where I was like, man, forget the club. You know, I could be home with my kids, not paying a sitter, not doing anything, blocking off my time for 2-3 days, making my content, and then the rest of the time I'm focused on real estate. I had an end goal. Like people see you in the club and don't really know your story, don't know where you come from, don't know where you're trying to go. So yeah, I was in the club, but nobody knew that I was in real estate school during the daytime. Nobody knew I was starting a credit business. Nobody knew I was like really behind the scenes trying to get my ish together so I wouldn't have to be on that scene forever, because there's no stability. God forbid you break a leg or something happen. How you getting paid? You ain't got no 401k. 9 times out of 10, you ain't got no money paid. We living from night to night. There's a lot of slow lights, and there's a lot of nights that, you know. But I was really in the club for the relationships. Forget the money I was making in the club. It was who I was meeting in the club for me, because it's all about who you know. And that's actually how I got into real estate. I had like a broker come into my club and just watch me and was like, yo, you ever thought about doing real estate? And I was like, I'm from New York. Like, for you to even be in a real estate conversation, you got to be in that class. And I wasn't in that class, you know, in New York. But as I moved to Atlanta, I realized, like, you know, Atlanta is real estate. And that's actually what sparked my transition.
What made the lady just walk up to you?
God, I don't know. So, you know, it was just a regular day in the club. She came in. She was one of them women that had that, like, powerful presence about her. So it was like, you know how somebody could come in the room and the whole room just freeze, and, like, everybody's just trying to figure out, like, damn, who is she? What does she do? Yeah. You know, she sat there, watched me for a little bit. You know, I'm interacting with the people that come to the bar, laughing, you know, whatever. And she came to me and she just was like, you know, yo, I see something in you. Like, you ever thought about doing real estate? And I was like, real estate, what's that? Like, I know it's houses and stuff like that, but again, I'm from New York, so real estate to what capacity? What are you talking about, lady? Like, you holding on my line. I got clients I gotta serve. Like, what's going on? And she's just like, listen, I think you would be dope. Went in one ear, out the other. I was actually on set for a video shoot a couple of weeks after that, and the same lady was there. And that's when we, like, fully got to, like, really speak, where she was telling me, like, listen, I'm a broker. I want you to go to real estate school. I want you to get your license, and I want you to come work for me. Sent me to school to go to and everything, and I pursued it. Like, I went to the school, and it's so crazy because to this day, I've never heard from the lady again. So to me, that was like, God, like, yo, this ain't where you belong. You know, like, you're so much bigger than this. And I felt that. Again, I'm in a city where I know nobody. I came out here with just me and my kids, a stash, no plan. I'm going to figure it out. So that was like, okay, this the second time. Like, what's the odds of her being at my video shoot? The same lady that came to nah, okay, maybe I really need to look into this real estate stuff. And that's what sparked my interest in real estate.
So before real estate, why you doing OnlyFans and working in the club and stuff? Like, what was the goal? You know, like, okay, you had a goal.
I didn't have no goal.
But you had a goal for OnlyFans. Like, I'm gonna do this for such and such time.
No, I didn't have no goal.
Okay, you just ended up.
So this is how I even got onto OnlyFans. It's a popular girl that, you know. So I have 600 and something thousand followers on Instagram on my personal page. So how I got those numbers was shout out for shout out. So, you know, it's real clicky. You know, the popular girls team up with the popular girls. Hey, shout me out. I'm going to shout you out. It was like a whole group of us, you know, and that's how I built my page. She was on OnlyFans, and she sent me her numbers. And she was like, girl, this is where the money at right now. Like, we on Instagram half naked, not making no bread. Because, you know, we posting in lingerie and shit. Especially being in the club, you got to post where you got to be at. Yeah. You got to do photo shoots, you know, be a little, you know. And she just was like, yo, you can make bread because, you know, you got fans. And she showed me her numbers, and I've never seen that much money in my life, legitly. Like, not looking over your shoulder, not have to worry about going to jail, not even having a dude touching you. This is all, like, virtual.
Yeah.
And she put me under her and she showed me the ropes, and I was like, oh shit.
How much money you made on OnlyFans?
I made almost 200,000.
Yeah.
And again, this was 2017 before people really was like if you was on OnlyFans, you was a straight out hoe back then.
Yeah.
Like once the pandemic hit 2020, everybody started doing it. But this was back then when it was like shunned upon. Like, girl, what you doing? Mm-hmm. But I ain't care. Like I said, I started a whole credit business. Like I started businesses with that money. I wasn't Chanel bagged out. Mm-hmm. I wasn't name brand out. Like my kids were good. I was good. You know, I learned about business credit. I got my car in my business name. I started my companies and really just started to build my name outside the club, but behind the scenes. So when I popped out, and when I say popped out, I don't mean popped out in the club. I popped out of the club. Like I left the club. I had to reintroduce myself. Like, yeah, it's Miss Samuel to y'all. It's Suzette to y'all. Like Chinky dead, she gone. You know, but that took a lot of willpower and sacrifice and just really knowing what I didn't want, because it's enticing. Mm-hmm. You know, and a lot of girls is really not in the clubs for the club per se, but knowing that I could go to the club, and if a dude's spending $2,000 on me in the club and we're not spending no time together, why I can't charge you $5 to take me out or to spend some time with me? You know? So it's a mentality thing, and then it's easy to get caught up, because I was almost caught up. If that lady ain't come to me and speak life into me about, girl, you better be doing some real estate, I'd probably still be in the clubs. I don't know.
What do you have to say to the girls that's in the clubs, that's doing OnlyFans, that don't have a game plan? They're just doing it just to do it, you know, just to make money, and it's like with no type of direction.
Whew. So definitely, you gotta have a game plan. And anything you do, even with your podcast, you gotta have a why. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a why, it's so easy to kind of just get lost and be out there doing whatever. Because even when the pandemic hit, that was a game changer for the clubs. Mm-hmm. Like that year, you know, dancers, bartenders, they was probably making the most money they ever made. But now, I speak to some girls that I'm still like cordial with from when I was in the clubs, and they like, girl, this ain't it. Like, we ain't making nothing compared to what we was making before. And it's because people lack an exit strategy. Yeah. You know, a lot of times we have to do what we have to do to get to where we want to be. And I think that's where they go wrong. You know, because it's like, okay, and I was caught in that cycle too. Like I said, if I ain't had that lady speak life into me, I'd probably still be in the clubs, because that's all I knew. So your circle is very important. You can't be the smartest, and that was my issue. I was always the smartest person in my circle. You can't be the smartest person in your circle. Befriend those with goals, with vision, with people doing more than you, because they're going to inspire you to do more than what you're doing for yourself. A lot of times it takes that outside person to tell us, like, hey, like, girl, you worth so much more than what you're doing. You know? But we don't know that because we're stuck in what we know. Mm-hmm. You know? So I would just tell girls to have an exit strategy, because your body ain't going to look like that forever. You know, the money ain't going to be like that forever. Like, the clubs ain't what it was. Like, I count the money that I was touching illegally, even just being in the clubs, and I'm just like, yo, if I would have knew then what I know now, as far as investing, as far as real estate, as far as businesses, you know, like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And a lot of girls in the club, they're single mothers. Nobody talks about, see, they look at us and see hoes and strippers and dancers. Like, oh, that bitch ain't nobody. But they don't know that we're struggling to put food on the table. We're struggling to provide. And from somebody that like, I'm from New York, where government help is like this. You can move to New York and apply for emergency food stamps and Medicaid, and you're going to get it like that. When I came to Atlanta, it took me 8 months to get my Medicaid, okay? And in a state where, you know, STDs and then HIV and stuff like that is so prominent, that's important, because 9 times out of 10, people's not paying for that. You know? So you have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is my overall goal? You got some people that That's just what they want to do. That's the life they want. Cool. But this Atlanta, and again, I'm from New York. The one thing about Atlanta is an entrepreneur state. So you could start a business out here and be good. You can't really do that in New York. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like New York, you gotta work on, you gotta do so much just to survive. The people is angry and hostile. Like I moved out here, people saying, "Hi, what the fuck you want?" Like, you know, like I had to adapt to the culture out here, even the music and everything. But I wanted better. So that's the difference. I wasn't comfortable with what I was making in the club because I knew deep down, like, listen, I deserve better. I'm raising girls. My daughter looked at me. She was getting bad grades in school. She like, "Ma, I'm going to just be a bartender." Because she used to watch me throw all my singles on the bed when I came home and count up my money, and we was living good. We ain't want for nothing. I had a whole career in New York where I had benefits. I was on salary. And I left that to come here to be in the clubs.
Wait, your daughter said she's gonna be a bartender?
Yeah, cause she was watching. She seen how she. I'm 34. She's 15. So at the time she was probably like 11, 10, 9ish. Mm-hmm. Kids watch you. You understand? So she's watching me. She don't know the difference between, oh, it's singles, tens, and fives. She just like, yo, mommy pulled a pile of money on the bed. And we know, they knew I was in the club. It wasn't no secret. Mm-hmm. But my life has always been a showcase to them. Listen, do things differently than I did. I don't have no help from y'all fathers. You know what I'm saying? So don't have kids out of wedlock. I have to do this, I have to do that. Get your education. When I had my first daughter, again, me going to jail prompted me getting my degree. That's not something I did on my own. I was just trying to stay out of jail. You understand? So it was just as a parent, as a person, I wanted more. And then, the culture started shifting. Niggas following you home, beating up women, just all the crazy stuff that just started happening. And it was just like, yo, do I really want to live my life like this?
I want to ask you briefly about your daughter being molested.
Okay.
And this is from you, you know what I'm saying, living that life and being outside and kind of like, like not putting the time and energy into like being a parent.
Right.
Can you speak on that situation?
Whew. I was in Africa.
Mm-hmm. Doing what?
Again, I wasn't in the clubs for the club money per se. I was in the clubs for relationships. I had a dude that was from Africa that was visiting Atlanta. He came to my bar and he was like, yo, you would kill it in London. So I was one of them girls that was always flued out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like state to state, country to country. And I got paid $20,000 to go to London to host a boat party. As I'm in London, I connect with a real, like, y'all think Americans be scamming? Nah, them Africans is different. So I connected with an African scammer who paid me another $20,000 to go to Africa. So London to Africa is what Miami is to Atlanta or New York. So I'm like, I extra 2 days, 20 bands? Shit, okay. As a single parent, I've always had a nanny. Mm-hmm. We need help. And my nanny called me and she was like, I was bathing her and, it was just a little weird. And I talked to her and she told me somebody touched her. Mind you, I'm in Africa. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, what do you mean somebody touched her? And she's like, listen, I was bathing her and she was just real fidgety when I got down there and somebody touched her. So I had to book a $2,000 flight to come back the next day because the sitter wasn't too sure what was going on. She was just like, listen, it happened in school. I'm going to go to school tomorrow and I'm going to figure it out. So in my head, I already felt like shit because I wasn't there. But it was just like, I need to be with you when you pull up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it just turned out, it was another student who was maybe like a grade level or two above her. But again, this was another wake-up call like, girl, you across the country, literally, like, what is Africa? 15-hour flight or so, whatever. You across the country, stressing on how you gonna feed your kids, trying to make money, because nothing I did was for fun. Like, again, this was all I knew at the time on how to survive. Use what I got to get what I need, you know? And I just was like, yo, this ain't it. You know? So it was just things that I just kept going through, you know, that my soul, me as a person, I was uneasy. But again, I'm doing this because I'm a parent, but at the same time, things is happening to my children, and I'm not even I couldn't even comfort my daughter that night. Like, that made me feel like crap. But at the same time, this is why I'm doing all this for. So that was the pivotal shift in, this ain't it, girl. You need an exit plan and you need it fast. Because remember, I came to Atlanta to be home with my kids. And I just found that I actually came to Atlanta and got more lit than when I was in New York. Because Atlanta, you know, they embraced the dark skin, the black girls versus New York. So I came out here and it was just like things was falling in my lap financially. And, you know, when that happened to her, you know, to this day, I still have her in therapy. You know, and it was eye-opening for me, because even like getting back home, talking to her, going to the school, turning up, come to find out the girl that did that to my daughter, she was being molested. So she wasn't molested by like a school official or anything like that. It was another child. And even the questions she was asking my daughter why she did what she did, it was just like, yo, somebody's doing that to you. And it was a conversation I had to have with her mother, like, yo.
With the girl's mother.
With the girl's mother, like, and it was a girl. And that's what messed me up. And that was, again, a pivotal point even in my parenting skills, because, you know, we always train our daughters to no man is supposed to look at you. No man is supposed to touch you. So she was confused, like, Mom, you say boys, but she's a girl. You know? So I had to really, like, put her in therapy to, not only for her, but for myself, because I had to learn different coping mechanisms, and I had to really learn how to be a parent. You know, but yeah, so, you know, these things happen, and a lot of times, you know, we look at the negative and we don't see the positive and the negative. There's always a positive and a negative. You know, we have to take it for what it is. It was a learning experience, and that's really part of the reason why I'm on the path that I'm on now, because like I said, I could have still been in the clubs. My name was ringing bells, you know, like everybody knew who I was, what I did, or something about Chinky or Chinky Eyes.
Do you ever miss it?
I do. Not so much. I'm always in the house now. So it just be like, dang, like, I wonder. It be thoughts, but it don't be like I will go back. I don't even club, like regular, like I don't do none of that no more. Like I'm not in the clubs. I really, like, once I transitioned, I kind of just had to let that go, because even the relationships I was in, not even relationships, situationships, a lot of my trauma came from the clubs. A lot of people that I've met that weren't good for me, you know, came from the clubs. A lot of bad experiences came from the clubs. So it was just something that I kind of just had to do away with altogether and just really morph into the person that I am now. Morph. You know, morph. Yes, I had to morph. We're going to cheers to morph.
Morph.
Listen, I had a whole guy do a testimonial for me the other day, and he was like, listen, I felt a little shade in his testimonial, but he was like, listen, I was following you before the credit. Like, I was following you because you basically was popping it open on the gram.
Yeah.
But once you started doing credit, like, you know, his credit is up. You know, he got a black card right now. I just got him approved for funding because I have a funding company.
Yeah.
So the people that's really followed my journey, you know, was like, she was here. Like, I got, like, matter of fact, one of my closings a few months ago was a girl that was a waitress, and I was the bartender. So I'm giving her drinks for her clientele, and she came to me like, listen, I want to buy a house, and we made it happen. You know, so now, even like being on a spiritual journey that I'm on, I've used my platform for a lot of evil, because I was listening. Oh, and about the OnlyFans shit, you recruit a girl, you get a piece of her earnings for life. As long as she's making money and you're still on that platform, you're making money. So I'm bringing all these girls in, like, listen, girl, you on that, girl, you know how much you got paid for that picture right there that you posted for free on Instagram? Like, let me show you what this platform is about, you know? So now that I'm where I am spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to use my platform for good. And I'm really, like, educating people on what it takes to become a homeowner, what it takes to have good credit, what it takes to get funding and start businesses and actually do something positive with your life. Because, like I said, it's only but so long you're going to be able to navigate off of how you look. You know, like, how I look might have got me in the room, but when I sit down and I open my mouth and I'm really, like, talking and educating people, that's what's keeping me seated at that table. And to hell, I got my own tables now. You know what I mean? So
we was on the phone.
We're going to cheers to own table.
Keep on cheering. I know we was on the phone, and you was asking me about, like, you know, what I went to prison for and stuff, and I was telling you, like, yeah, like, I basically had to morph myself into, like, this person I am now, like.
Right.
And I think you was like, yeah, like, every day is a struggle, like, you know what I'm saying? I need to make money, and it's hard. It's hard to not go back into that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, like, you know, all my homies do the same shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, these niggas call me every day with some new shit. Like, bro, I don't want to hear it. Like, this is me now. I don't give a fuck what y'all doing out there. It's like, I got to really believe in what the hell I got going on. It's like, it is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking back at your lifestyle and looking at how much money you made, it's like, shit, you could easily just go back in the club, start OnlyFans, and shit, do what you used to do.
Forget the OnlyFans. Let's talk about the man in my DMs. Like, yo, shorty, come. I got this and this for you right now. Come see me. And I'm like, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, it really just boils down to morals, and choices. You know, like, I mean, I could easily do that. Nobody's gonna know about it but me.
Yeah.
But again, I'm on a different path as far as my morals, you know? So it's all about your circle. Your circle is important. So maybe it's time that if those friends from your past don't align with what you're trying to do now, you got to cut them off. I'm not cool with nobody from my past. And if I am, it's because we elevated together. We're no longer doing these things together. Like, I don't have a girl trying to convince me to come back to the club because I don't really talk to them no more. It's nothing to talk about. I'm not in that point or that space in my life anymore. And there's no shade to anybody because I've made some great relationships with both female and males. Like, I still have people hitting me now that if I want to make a quick 5,000-10,000, I can, you know? But then all that's going to do is suck me right back into that cycle. Sure. And I work so hard to get away from that, you know? Because, nigga, look at me.
Yeah.
I had sugar daddies. I don't know what it is to pay no bills. I got in the whole relationship and was paying half the bills.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, it's all about what you want.
Yeah.
And people, again, the why. People backslide or people, you know, fall victim to their past because they're not in tune with their why or they have no goals. You know, I mean, in everything you do is going to be some type of risk.
Everything.
But you have to ask yourself which risk is worth taking and which are not.
What do your circle look like now?
I don't have a circle. I have a...
It ain't got to be friends, but it's people that's...
I don't have a circle. You want to know who I vibe with right now? Because I'm a new real estate agent. So my circle consists with my brokerage. You know, the women from my brokerage, we pray together, cry together, grind together. That's what I need. I have to start putting myself in rooms with people who's doing better than me. Because if I'm always the smartest person in the room, that shit get draining.
For sure.
I have nobody pouring life into me. I have nobody teaching me things. I had to deal with my problems, your problems, her problems. Like, what about me? And I had to learn that the hard way. I have one friend that I can say that came with me from my past life and we transitioned together. Like, I'm talking about this girl that went to prison, came home, you know what I'm saying? And we both had to find our way. But my goal right now is not friends. I want business partners. business partners can become friends and can become greater. But I'm just mentally, I'm not where I was. I don't want no friends. Because when I look back on my life, a lot of the shit that I went through, it wasn't because of what I did. It was who I was associated with. It was who I had around me. It was the choices I was making. I didn't have somebody telling me like, yo, Sue, you better than that shit. They was cheering me on like, go girl, go get that bread. Okay, fly to this, fly to that. But when I was flat on my ass and needing help, none of them was nowhere to be found if I couldn't help them. And it was a lesson that I had to learn when I went through a relationship in 2019 where my ex pulled my gun on me and I was beat up. You know what I'm saying? And that was a pivotal point in my spirituality because it was just like, listen, girl, you live by niggas and money, you're gonna die by, excuse my language, men and money. And that's when I had to, like, yo, I don't want no more sugar daddy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no more purposeless relationships. I don't want to deal with you because I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, as a woman, I mean, yeah, like I tell women all the time, like, if you're sexually active and the person you're sexually active with is not helping you, and it's not only financial. See, women get so caught up in the financial part. You could be sponsored and still be a lost, miserable soul. You feel me? If who you have around you, whether it's male, female, sugar daddy, hoe, boyfriend, whatever, if he's not pouring into you spiritually or emotionally or financially, if you're not mentally, if you're not elevating from the substance of the people you have around you, you don't need around you. Everybody's so caught up for a check. Oh, I'm on demon time. Listen, that shit come with bad energy and spirits. So you might be getting that money for the time being, but you're not sleeping, you're losing weight, you're stressed out, you got acne, you in and out of jail, you in and out the clinic. You feel me? Like yo.
In and out the clinic.
In and out the clinic. We ain't gonna talk about that though. And this new monkeypox shit is crazy. I'm glad I wasn't doing what I had to do in the COVID and monkeypox time, because it's wicked out here, okay? But listen, we're gonna sip to that elevation before all these plagues and shit hit the earth.
So, you recently just got out of a relationship, and it was pretty public, all in the blogs and stuff. And we don't have to say this person's names or whatever. But how was that relationship for you?
It served its purpose. So, and this ain't even about, this is, so I just want to make clear, that was my first adult relationship. Like I said, I don't know what it is to pay bills or to be in a space where I even give a damn. Like I could walk anywhere and get what I want. But when I went through that spiritual transition in my life, I was like, okay, you know what? Put it this way. We about to talk for real. I was never attracted to the substance of a man. I was always attracted to what a man could do for me. So when I tried the relationship, it was just more, so I gave up a sugar daddy to be with this man. So when people be like, oh, you a gold digger, da-da-da, I left somebody that I was being 100% taken care of to somebody I was paying half the bills. That don't sound like somebody who was in it for the money or whatever. Like I was generally, seeking love, and I've made mistakes along the way. Like, I wasn't perfect. I will say this, and I've learned this not only in relationships, but in friendships and just anybody in my life. If we're not equally yoked, it's not gonna work. If we can't pray together, it's not gonna work. And I've never, ever, up until recently, because I got a new dude in my life, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I've never, ever was in a situation to where I was spiritually connected with the person that I'm with. So a lot of times people look at marriage as to, damn, why my marriage ain't work. Let's talk about marriage real quick. What is marriage to you? Like when you hear the word marry or marriage or husband and wife, what do you think about?
Making a commitment before God.
Okay.
Being with this person, the vows that you make, through death do you part.
And who you making those vows to? Or in front of, I should say.
God.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you're in a relationship that's not God ordained, that means before you even got to that altar, if y'all don't have a relationship with God separately and as a couple, if you're not praying together, if you're not worshiping together, forget the whole church aspect. Yeah, you have to go to church, to be spiritually fed. Like everybody look at what's going on in church. No, do what you have to do to be spiritually fed and to hear the word. But if you're not doing that before getting to the altar, what makes you think that, let's just say me and you's dating, hey, we dating, right? You my dude, right? We don't pray together. God is not even a topic of conversation until we get to the altar. So how am I trusting you, or how are you trusting me to get before God and make vows that you're going to do right by me and I'm going to do right by you if we didn't have that before? You have to fear God for those vows to mean something. If you have no relationship with God and you don't fear God, it just more so becomes the cultural aspect of a wedding or ceremony or getting married. So I've never had that.
Right.
I've never argued with a nigga. The nigga was like, "Shut up, let's pray." You know what I'm saying? Or we just talking to God regularly. Like I've always been the more spiritually in tuned one. So when you pray to God for His will, because a lot of times our prayers don't get answered because we want what we want, but what we want is not what's destined for us. It's not His will. So when we learn to take the selfishness out of our prayer and pray for His will, we'll start to see that the things we have around us, the people we have around us, is not His will. You know what I'm saying? So if it's not His will, again, you have to trust and ask Him to remove and replace with what's beneficial.
I like that.
And that's just what it is. So I'm at a place in my life where I'm happy. I don't have to hide who I am. I can blast my gospel music. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not perfect. Nobody is. God didn't come, Jesus didn't come on this earth for us to be perfect. He came for a relationship. And I have a relationship with Him. So where my discernment, I have good discernment on people, on things, on situations. And I remove myself out of situations that no longer serve me any purpose. So I don't worry about what people say, do, or think. I can care less. Because y'all not getting me to heaven. You feel me? I know what I do behind closed doors. I fast, I pray, I make sacrifices. I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. But I'm in my prayer closet repenting. You know what I'm saying? So it just comes up. You have to get to that maturity to where you're willing to leave everything. Money, people, jobs, situations, occupations, whatever. Because listen, even down to me leaving New York, I was at a job with benefits, good pay, everything. And I didn't even know what I was coming to Atlanta to do. But it was just like, move. I came to Atlanta. I was having a real hard time my first 2.5 years. 2018-ish, I tried to move back. It didn't work out. And I was like, okay, God, I know that's you telling me to stay in Atlanta. I don't know for what, but it is what it is.
Speaking of marriage, could you marry a guy that's not into the church? Could you deal with a guy that's not God-fearing? Or, some people just, oh, well, yeah, I know God, and me and God got our own relationship. And
so I'm going to put it like this, because you want to know what's crazy? Spiritual people fight the most demons, and that's because we know better, and we're targeted more. So when you're not spiritual, the devil already has your soul. He don't have to fight for you. But when you, and then we can really talk about this because you're trying to do right. You know what I'm saying? When you're really trying to change your life, that's when you're challenged the most, because he sees your blessings. We don't see it. But a lot of times what we go through changes your character. So I'm not saying I have to be with a spiritual person, but the person I'm with, they have to have a relationship with God. So whether that's you talking to him every day, and I don't do the traditional praying on my knees. Like I pray in the shower, I pray when I'm driving. I talk to God like he the homie. Like if I'm frustrated, and you know what I had to learn, talk less and pray more. Because the people you running your mouth to, your friends, your family, they can't do nothing about your situation. They just gonna talk about you and run your business. But when you really have that faith and you take it to the higher power, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the main conversations I have with God is like, listen, God, I was lit walking in darkness. I ain't give all that up to struggle walking in light. So what you have to do is you have to remind him of his own promises, and that comes from you reading the Bible. I didn't even believe in the Bible prior to 2019. I was one of them kids in Bible study as a kid, always challenging the Sunday school teacher, like, so what you got to say about babies that die? Where God, you know, like, and I was so hurt and bitter from what I went through. You understand? But now that I'm an adult and I realize that that's my testimony. You know, that's what's shaping me. I don't even look at my past relationships. I don't have no hatred. I don't have no malice in my heart. Because when God wants to get you to a certain level, he's going to use people to get you to that certain level. But at the same time, life is a test. So you're going to fold or you're going to conform. I made the mistake of conforming. And because I conformed, those people, places, and situations are no longer in my life. You understand? When you stay true to who you are and what you want to do, you're going to get them daggers thrown at you to test you. You can't move into your next chapter with dead weight. You can't move into your next chapter without a testimony. No story, no glory. So a lot of people go through things and get stressed. I go through the storm and I welcome the storm because I know on the other side of that storm there's blessings. There's levels to this. You gotta climb. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk before you can run. You gotta crawl before you can walk. But when your spirit, even with what's going on in society now, all of this is in the Bible. You know, so even with me, I pick up the Bible and I read scriptures and stuff based on what I'm going through, and it gets me through. Shonda, I used to call my friend for everything. Girl, let me tell you. And now...
Gossip.
But now, you know, what the hell she gonna do? Besides listen to me and give me advice, worldly advice, you know. But when I realized I was a different person when I was in different situations and in relationships, and I was going through what I was going through, and I still had a smile on my face. Nobody doesn't have the power to steal my joy. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. God will bless you on the same platform that they try to destroy you on. And God spins the block for his followers. So as long as you stay faithful, fruitful, and true to who you are, and keep your heart pure, you gonna watch the people that turn on you. He gonna give you front center seats to watch how he deal with them people. And everybody have their own walk. Like a lot of times, like I said, I had to die and come back for me to really get to know him. And even still after that, I still wasn't, you know. But every situation in my life, this is why I changed my life. Because I was like, yo, I'm gonna die in these streets. Because I was living by the fast money, by the men. You understand? And my first baby father done shot my crib up trying to get me killed. Like, I've been through some stuff. So the recent things that I've been through, that ain't nothing. Like, okay, next. You feel me? Because I know where God is taking me. That was just a layer that I had to go through to get to the next level. It was a learning experience. It showed me that I was able to love, because I was this cold, heartless New York chick that, nigga, you ain't got no money, I ain't trying to talk to you. You feel me? So now when I meet my husband, I'm at the mental, emotional, and spiritual capacity to where I'm able to fully embrace him because of what I went through. Because if I had not gone through what I went through, a lot of times our blessings are in our face and we mistreat it. You know what I'm saying? And then we go through a whole cycle of turmoil, unnecessary turmoil. because we not willing. It starts with them. We're not willing to change who we are as people. The devil not gonna come on the earth and roam around in horns and a red cape. He gonna, you notice betrayal, hurt, all of that come from the people in your circle.
Closest people.
Listen, if you're not prayed up, I don't even want you around me. You want to know why? Because the enemy gonna use you to deal with me. I don't got time for that. I at least want you praying away the demonic shit away from you. Because if you're not, you just gonna become another body that's, a
vessel.
A vessel. Yeah. There you go. I don't got time for that. So what? You ain't gotta be all religious, hallelujah, because at the same time, those are the people that's really outside, doing shit they ain't supposed to do, using their voice for the wrong things. But you can tell by a person's heart, how they move, and how they treat people, the path that they're on. Like the dude I'm with now, he's not all spiritual, hallelujah, amen, praise the Lord, but at the same time, I know that he has or he's building a relationship. And God always places people in your life for a reason. And I pray every day, listen, I don't know why you put him in my life, but sharpen my discernment. If he's who I'm supposed to be with, help strengthen his relationship with you or use me. Because a lot of times we'll be putting people's life to introduce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm just here for the ride. I don't want to figure it out. I just take every day as it is. I have fun. I live my life. I don't stress. I'm not miserable. I have no malice in my heart. I'm happy. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So we
said something.
Cheers to happy, good. Keep your heart pure.
You said something earlier about not holding any anger or towards someone, you know what I'm saying, because that'll block your blessings. And I'm the same exact way, because a lot of people fucked me over while I went to prison. And man, I had to just be like, you know what, this is how I'm gonna not even piss them off, but I'm gonna level up, and I'm gonna make sure like they're gonna regret fucking me over. You know what I'm saying? They gonna regret. They gonna see me every day. You know what I'm saying? I know they see me every day on Instagram or wherever the fuck they see me at. And I know if I was to be angry or hold some animosity towards them, like shit probably wouldn't be going good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like this
they
is my
hold power.
Right.
If you wake up every day angry and I'm on your mind, and you're cursing me out. And you're so,
you can't even fucking move on.
You can't walk into the next chapter. I'm living in your head rent free.
Yeah, rent free.
You can't walk into the next chapter of your life, and that's what the enemy does. How are you supposed to walk into your blessings like that?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Wishing bad on somebody else.
Yeah, you listen, and I tell people, listen, life is full of trials and turmoils, but you got to keep your heart pure. So even with you making that comment, I'm gonna tell you this: change your mindset a little bit. Forget them. This ain't even about them.
Yeah.
This is about you coming home from prison and showing people that, listen, you could do the time and still come out, cause that's what the system is. They throw that label on you. Oh, you a felon, or you have a misdemeanor, and now you can't work for the white man and your life is over. No, my life is just beginning.
Facts.
Okay, I'm gonna work for myself. I'm gonna make my money, and I'm gonna show other people, that you can still go to prison and come home and be somebody. This ain't the 1980s. Even with me doing real estate, people be like, oh, I don't got tax returns, I can't buy a house. I be like, girl, you could get a fucking house with bank statements. You don't need tax returns. Society is gearing towards entrepreneurship. You could get funding with bank statements. You could buy a car with bank statements. You could get loans with bank statements. You could buy a house with bank statements. When you start to really put it on yourself, like I said, we could want something and that's not what his will is for our life. You have a platform. You're giving people the opportunity to tell their story, but it took you going to prison to dig deep to that talent.
You're right.
You feel me? So we as people have to understand that, listen, just because I went through this does not mean I'm not worthy of experiencing this. And God is a God of, he shows his power in our weakness. When we're too arrogant and on our high horse and think, oh, we don't need him and we're good and I'm doing this, that's when it comes crashing down. And I know for me, that's when I came crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But it took you going to prison to really tap into, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast. And now you giving people the platform to tell their story and to educate other people. But you would have never had this platform had you not been in prison.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So we ain't even doing this for the haters.
Mm-hmm.
We doing this so you can walk into your will and your purpose for his life. Because that's when the heavens is going to open up for you. Because now we want what he want. We don't know what he want for us. He might want me to be a billionaire next week, but I'm thinking millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So now it is that gap, that threshold. You feel me? We gotta just leave it in his hands and just wake up and do what we're destined to do. You building a platform to people to tell their story. This ain't even about the haters, cause listen, the haters might have to come sit on your couch and tell their story one day. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
The haters might call you like, "Hey, you hiring?" You feel me?
I got a job for you.
Yeah, like nah. You people have to really change their mindset and their heart. Cause I used to do it for the haters too, and I realized I wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I wanted to do it for me, for my kids, for the will, for my spiritual well-being, that things started shifting. Cause I would have still been in the clubs. I walked away from money. Like I had people hitting me the week after I left, like, "Yo, so and so came looking for you. So and so came looking for you. So and so came looking for you. You think I ain't battle going back in there?" But it was just like that's not my purpose. Like my purpose is not being in the club. And there's no shade to anybody that is, but we have to use what we have or our knowledge, even our experiences or whatever. Use it to get to the next level. You can't stay stagnated. You gotta elevate.
What made you become vegan and stop smoking hookah?
Oh, cause I was a hookah head. I'm talking about wake up 11 in the morning, go to my favorite hookah spot, sit there with my laptop all day, getting work done, smoke hookah, my health. So again, I've always been a prayer for whatever your will is on my life. So it took health problems for me to walk away from a lot of things. You understand? So I didn't walk away from hookah because I just woke up one day and was like, I'm good. I had surgery last summer to remove the illegal bus shots I had because I was sick. And one of the requirements was 3 months prior to surgery, stop smoking hookah. I mean, I could have smoked it, but at the same time, I'm following a surgery page that highlights the girls that's dying from the same surgery that I'm about to go get. So you think I was playing with it?
Right.
Nah, I gotta smoke. Well, I gotta start smoking hookah today. Okay, because it was the end goal for me. Like, I just want to be healthy. Like, I woke up in 2017 and just couldn't walk. They told me I would never walk again if I didn't get surgery on my knees. You feel me? So it wasn't intentional. Like, I just woke up and, hey, I'm not going to smoke hookah no more. No, I had to prepare for the surgery. Even after surgery, for you to heal, I couldn't smoke for 2 months after. So I'm 5 months in at that point with no hookah. I stopped craving it. I'm like, fuck it. And that was actually on some real stuff. One of the things I laid at the altar, like, listen, God, I'm permanently giving this up for your will to be done on my life.
You got to sacrifice something.
You got to sacrifice. Faith, obedience, and sacrifice. That's the name of the game.
Got to sacrifice something.
That's the name of the game. So I sacrificed the whole lifestyle of what I knew. You know, dealing with tricks. Being in the clubs.
Sacrifice.
Getting that fast money.
Sacrifice.
Being on Instagram half naked. I don't get nowhere near the 20,000, 30,000 likes I used to get before, but I don't care. Because at the same time, I got girls in my DMs like, yo, I'm lost, help me. Like, and these are the same girls I was in the club with. You feel me? So, listen, and I'm nowhere near what I need to be, and I'm not perfect. I'm still cleaning. Like, I've made a lot of mistakes, and again, these past 3 years have showed me why your circle is so important. Because if you're around people that's not on the same walk as you, it's easy for you to backslide. It's easy for you to fall victim back into this world. It's easy for you to make mistakes that you walked away from. And that was my mistake. You know? So now when things don't work out, I just be like, okay, God heard you. Fix it. I don't even try to figure it out. Like, when your faith is strong, you don't like, okay, I trust you. Like, it's going to work out, you know? So it's just one of them things that, listen, you got a good thing. And I know your story because we've talked off camera.
Mm-hmm.
You got a good thing. It's about staying focused, staying grounded, changing your circle.
My circle's so strong now.
Yeah, we and you spoke. You know what you need to be doing right now. If you ain't got them type of people that speaking that type of life into you, what are they around you for?
I'd be amazed at like the new people that I be around. Not to disregard my friends because they're my friends. You know what I'm saying? Forever, but I limit the time that I'm around them or the conversations that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, we friends and we cool and stuff, but like some of the conversations be pointless.
Right.
And it's like the new friends that I have, they're not even friends. They just people that I be around. You know what I'm saying? The people that might come on my podcast and like they just easily gravitate towards me and just want to help me. And when I talk to these people every day and they tell me like what they doing and what I need to be doing is like, oh yeah, but I could help you do this, or I could help you do this, or oh, but I just bought a $2 million crib, and it's like when I hear that type of shit, it's like, all right, bet I don't really need to be doing doing the bullshit. If I got people around me that's doing this shit legally, if I got these people that's pouring into me like that's just ready to help me, like I know I'm doing what's right. You know
so let's tap into your story. Enough about me. Let's tap into your story a little bit, right? And not even the details, but the aspect of you was sat down for a reason.
I truly believe that.
So a lot of times when things happen, we so lit, we don't hear God trying to get our attention. So sometimes he just got to sit us down like, bam, whether he's diagnosing us with something or we sitting in prison or we at our lowest, because he going to strip you to the point where you have no choice but to call on him. You understand? So if you got those friends, and it's okay to outgrow friends. So a lot of people feel that that loyalty, that I got to be with this dude because he was with me in a sandbox. But if he's not elevating with you, if y'all not having those conversations, those are not your friends. Because coming from where, so I've never done, like I've been arrested hella times. You know, I sat in jail for 3 days, and I take my hat off to the people that really like do their time and come home and make a difference in their life. But if they ain't go through that, they not relatable.
That's right.
They're not relatable. And a lot of times we can't go into the next chapter of our life because we too busy worrying about those friends, opposed to worrying about the new people you said, and it ain't even about a length of time. So the thing is, you got people that God to throw in your life just for a reason, season, or lifetime. Like, I couldn't understand how I was able to bag a nigga at 7 months pregnant, lost everything, and he pretty much took care of me and my kids until my daughter was 2 years old. And when it was time for me to finally branch out into my own thing, it just didn't work. He was a season. But at that time, he was what I needed, and God used him to elevate me. You understand? So a lot of times we want to have loyalty to people that serve us no good, and that's why we're not in our next chapter. You got to be focused on yourself. You did that time by yourself. You sat in them walls by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure this shit out by yourself. So if they're not helping you elevate to the next level, and this don't even have nothing to do with financial, but encouragement. Yo, my dude, you got this. Or yo, I was in Buckhead and I ran across this photographer dude, and I know you doing a podcast, so I gave him your number. You feel me? Like, if they're not helping you get to the next level, and I'm not even saying to cut them loose, like never talk to again, but some people you're just not meant to be around. You got secluded for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, pay attention to the new relationships you have in your life. The people that's doing, we can't always be the smartest people in the room. And that's what I'm used to. I'm always the smartest person in the room. Like, I'm always teaching, pouring to the point where I get drained because no one is pouring into me. And because I'm so accustomed to them needy relationships, Because you got some people that are ego driven. So because they have ego issues or insecurities, they don't know how to gravitate to people that's doing better than them. That's when jealousy, envy, dumb type of emotions come in place. I love being around people that's doing better than me. I don't want to be around nobody doing less than me. Like, oh, I can't learn from you. And it's nothing personal, but I'm at a point in my life where I need to grow. If you're not helping me grow, I don't want you around me. I don't care who, what, where, when, how, whatever. I don't care how much time we had in the past. Nigga, you sat down for some years. You understand? So if a person is not trying to help you elevate above that, what are you holding on to? A title? The past?
Right.
Oh, this is my friend. Okay, well, what is your friend? Like, what? I don't even want to be around no friends. Those are the most draining.
They are.
Put me in a room with entrepreneurs, with boss people. I'll take being the less educated in the room. I'll take being the less experienced, the person with the less money, whatever. I want to be around people that's doing better than me. I don't want to. I'm tired of always pouring into people. You can't keep pouring into people when you don't have nothing to pour for yourself. It's not gonna work.
Let me say this. It took me to go to prison to realize, like, I didn't know shit. Me being
you
around.
Know shit. Let's cheers to that.
Yo, listen, I didn't. Being around, like, we all convicts and shit like that, but me being around different type of people from all different walks of life, from like trading fucking stocks and real estate, and I had all these different, and I was hanging around with all type of people, white people, older people, 60-year-olds. And I was like, damn, like, what the fuck I've been doing in life for real? I don't know shit. I don't know nothing about nothing but fucking scamming and jugging and running up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know much at all. And I was like, when I get out of prison, I'm going to fucking meet some people. I'm going to be around these type of people. Like, and some people that I met in prison, I still talk to this day. Smart people.
Listen.
Not motherfuckers that's just dragging me down and like, oh, bro, what's the new Nah, I know some people that's like on their shit for real. They just got caught up in some bullshit. And it's like, now it's like, okay, now that I go to these conferences and now it's like I got a name, I got a face, I got a platform. It's like people recognize me and they just want to, hang or be friends or whatever the fuck the case may be. But it took me to go through that though, for real. Yeah. And
that helps shape your character.
Facts. And it's like when I got out, I was like, you know what? I ain't doing that shit no more.
Because think about it. If you would have never got caught, you'd have still been on the same shit.
Man, I'd have ran up. I'd have ran up, man, countless of M's and probably did more time. Whoever, right. I don't know what that story would have been. You know what I'm saying? But now I got this story. And I sat in prison. I thought, like, for them years, every day about, like, this is what I have. Like, everything that you see in this, I thought about everything in that thumbprint, that wall, like, that ATM. That was just me sitting on my bunk bed, like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm
gonna do. Not the bunk bed.
Nah, seriously, like that shit was hard as still. Like
I said, I did 3 days.
3 days. Multiply that shit by 365.
3 days and those 5 pounds, cause I ain't eat shit they had in there, and I just and even with that, like even with me going to jail, so my judge, and I hope she doesn't ever see this, but my judge, she's retired, but she was extra hard on females who was going through the system because of a male. Because her daughter was murdered by...
Why was she harder on the females? Wouldn't she be harder on the guys?
No, she's hard on the females because she wants us to understand that we can't live our life trying to please y'all. Like, I was in jail because of my baby father. Okay. It wasn't because of nothing I did. You feel me? So with her, it was like, listen, be happy I'm putting you in jail. My daughter died. There is no more chances for her. I'm going to throw you in jail just so you get your shit right. And honestly, that's what kept me leveled on the legal aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these years, because half an hour speech at the end of court. Fought that case for 4 years. I was facing 3 to 5 years and got off with an unclassified misdemeanor. Have no record by the grace of God. You understand? But that was a learning period that I had to go through because it was just like, yo, shit'll be real. Like I did 3 days, and in them 3 days I posted bail. And I only posted bail because I found out I had a rich uncle from Trinidad that was now in the States who was co-founder of Colgate. So he put house and all of that for collateral and all of that stuff. That's the only how I got out. But that was, even with that, the day that I was supposed to get out on a Sunday, I didn't get out. They lost my paperwork. And some girl was like, yo, they got the, church be lit in prison. They had the church in prison. And the girl was like, yo, come with me. And I went. And that was my first message where God was like, yo, a lot of times we look at the things that happen to us as bad, but sometimes we got to sit ourselves down. So that situation might be bad, but if we kept going, we'd have been in a worse situation. So even with you saying that comment, like, yo, I could have ran up M's and been saying for 10 years versus, the little bit of time you did, and now you're here. So now it's up to you to use your platform to educate, and no, I'm not, I went to prison. Like, I'm not Mr. Goody Two Shoes. I have a story too. And when me and you spoke privately, I'm like, listen, your story needs to be told because you are 70% of the black men in Atlanta. Like, if we being real, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, you gotta, you have to sit down for a little while, but you got your freedom, you got your health. You got new opportunity. You got new business partners. You got a platform. What are you going to do with that platform? What are we going to do with that platform? Let's
use it to my advantage.
There you go. Educate, inspire.
Yeah, I never try to hide my story. You know what I'm saying? I know it can inspire somebody else. So, like, what I've been through is not where I'm headed. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, prison was just, just a pit stop. Right. That wasn't really nothing for real. I can't wait till people hear the story. I can't wait for like women, girls that was in your shoes.
Listen, and it was not easy, y'all. Like, I can't tell y'all how, who, what, where, when, why. Like, I don't know. And it's crazy because I'll still go through little tests. So All-Star Weekend. That was what, February? I got an email. Somebody wanted to attend to some private clients. Not like nothing sexual, but like in that environment where you're like in a thong and serving drinks and stuff. And they was gonna pay me $20,000. So to this day, I still get tested. Like, okay, are you gonna go back to this life? Because life is a big test.
For sure.
Is a test. And like I said, I'm actively going through trials and tribulations right now, but the difference between now and then is I could smile through my trials. Like, I'm at peace, and before it was just like, you ever wonder why people are so, it don't matter how much money they have, but they're miserable, they're unhappy, they're suicidal, they have no inner peace.
Money don't make you happy.
Inner peace is not something you could buy. Money can't buy that ish. At all. At all. And I'm at the point in my life where I don't care about that outside noise. I have inner peace. Like, I'm happy. I'm content. I'm not even going to say I'm content, but I'm proud of my growth. Yeah. And I know I have more growing to do. But it comes with accountability. It comes with vulnerability. It comes with, if we're not honest with ourselves, what are we doing? It comes with me looking in my mirror back in the day, like, yo, I'm tired of doing some strange things for some cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of that. Like, I want more than that. I deserve more than that. I'm worth more than that. But if you don't feel that way about yourself, you're never gonna come out that cycle.
Just imagine if you was to take those type of, those deals. Like, you taking 10 steps back. It's like you got to work your way back up to where you at now. It's like,
and that's what people don't realize. So it's like, and I've had my real estate license since 2019. I didn't actively start selling till this year. Like, to where I've closed like 6-7 deals or whatever, and I'm good. Not even good, because you got to continue closing deals. Yeah. But just on an aspect to where I know I'll never go back to that. I got a promoter in my inbox right now. Girl.
You gonna block your blessings.
Bitch, you been trending since the summertime. Like, what we doing? I'm trying to get you in the club, and I'm just like, listen, that ain't my life no more. Like, I don't want that hosting money. Like, I'm past that. I want to do speaking events. I want to speak to girls in these shelters and these group homes and in the prisons. That's the type. I don't want to be like I'm 34 years old. I'm gonna leave that to the young girls. Like y'all can have that. That ain't like I done that in 2014, 2015. That ain't my life no more. I gotta elevate from that. And you know, by the grace of God, I was able and I am able to elevate from that. And I got a 15-year-old and an 8-year-old who's watching me. And I have to be a prime example for them. Like, listen, like, it ain't about what you go through. It's about how you get through what you went through and where you going. And I'm not ashamed of my story. But like, oh, you was a hoe. You were this. You was that. Listen, you either doing it for free or you doing it for money. And I was one of them girls that was doing it for money. You feel me? But, again, I wasn't Chanel bagged out. I started businesses. I elevated to where now I don't have to do them things. A nigga come offer me money and I'm just like, that's all you got to offer? Oh, damn, you ain't ish. Like, you ain't got no connections. You ain't got no audience I could use. You can't promote my financial literacy business and give me some clients. You can't bring me no real estate clients. Like, that's the mindset that I'm on now. But it took me going through, like, I've been through everything. I've been raped. I've been kidnapped. I've been arrested. I did 3 days in jail but bailed out. You know, like, I've had my legal troubles. Even getting my real estate license, I took a 6-week course. It took me a year to pass. And that, again, it was too much. I'm a single parent. I'm in the clubs from 10 to 4. I'm in real estate school from 9 to, no, I'm in real estate school from 9 to 5. I'm in the clubs from 10 to 4. I'm popping Adderall on a daily basis just to get by. Just to stay up, to stay focused. You feel me? You know, so nobody don't know about the back end. Nobody know about me losing myself. Nobody don't know about me being suicidal. You know, nobody don't know about me being unhappy and being miserable and my child seeing demons and all type of weird shit because of the people I was around. You know what I'm saying? The culture we live in, to where certain things are culturally okay, but if you look at them people, they're not happy. You can't buy inner peace. That's something that you have to learn, you have to experience. So if you're not going through certain walks of life, and a lot of people can't even hold themselves accountable for the stuff they go through or for the stuff they do. Like, when I go through things, the first thing I be like is, damn, that's from that dude I robbed in 2012. God damn it, God. Like, you still hit me over the head for that? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I hold myself accountable for the things that I've done in the past. And we live in a social media era to where if it's not done in social media, it wasn't done. Who are y'all? Y'all can't get me to heaven. I repented. I fasted. I did this. I did that. I'm good. You understand? We live in a world where everybody want to be validated and accepted socially, and it's just like, for what? You're never, like, you're always going to piss. No one is going to ever agree with you 100% on your beliefs and what you stand for. But you know what? I go to sleep peaceful every day.
Your goals, for real. Your goals. You're like what women, you know, like, want to get to. You know what I'm saying? Like, some women are just trapped where they at, and your goals. You know, you've been through shit, and you're still thriving, still like.
It's some months that I ain't closing no deals, and I'm just like, damn, this dude was in my inbox for 10K, or this place, you know, DM'd me and want me to come host for this amount of money. But it's all about staying true to what you know and to your values, and if you don't stand on what you say, who is?
You know, it's something big out there. It's something bigger coming.
Listen, everybody I've met in the past month, and it's so crazy because to me, God talks to me through messages and people. And I know I gotta finish my book because that's what's going. I already got my caption. Like, when I touch my first million legally, like, I already know. And I know. And it's like, so people have to pay attention to people messages and just things. And I've just had people that I don't even know. I could be in a supermarket shopping, food shopping, and somebody come to me, girl, you gotta finish that book.
That's crazy.
I'm just like, okay, this some weird shit, what? And this has even a dude that like I'm in the car wash washing my car eating food, and there's a dude that's like in my face and I'm ready to curse him out. Sometimes the old me we seeping through sometimes, but this particular situation was like, girl, see, you got to chill. He was a whole pastor. But he was like regular clothes sitting next to me in my conversation with me and my friend. And I'm tapping my friend like, yo, why the hell this dude like all in my mouth? Like, what's going on with him? Another girl come in, she recognized my face. She like, girl, I had hit you about my credit. Like, what's up? Pull up the DMs from 2020. I'm like, dang, girl, you ain't move on that shit. Was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna hit you. He gets my Instagram. He like, yeah, I need credit work too. And I'm like, all right, cool. He hits me a couple days later. This was a Thursday. He hits me on a Sunday. Like, listen, God told me to be obedient, and I'm hitting you because I'm pre-approved for $1.2 million. I'm looking for a house in Atlanta, and I'm a pastor. And he's like, yo, God is doing amazing things in your life, and I just want to tell you to stay focused. Mind you, I had a bad day that day. Like, I'm thinking about, man, this has been a slow month business-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I ain't perfect. I still get them thoughts like, maybe, but it's just always somebody. And it'd be a complete stranger. It don't be nobody in my circle. It'd be a stranger that'd be like, girl, stay focused. And the pastor was like, yo, God really got his hands on your life. And he sent me YouTubes of him preaching. This a known pastor. This an industry pastor. Okay? And now I got him as a buyer client, $1.2 million. You know the commission on that? Let's toast the commission.
Let's toast to that.
So I say that to say, I don't know how I do it. I can't write a blueprint for this. I can't tell y'all, listen, do this. Like, what worked for me might not work for you.
Yeah.
But, you gotta know what you want. You gotta have goals. You gotta stay focused. And you gotta have faith. And as long as you have faith and you sharpen your discernment, things are gonna start to align itself. I seen a meme on Instagram, and it said when you ask God to show you a sign, and the girl was on the floor with the pole over her head, and it's like you still not listening. Like, we gotta learn to listen to our conscience, to listen to our gut, because a lot of times we could save ourselves. From a lot of things we go through, and this comes from, even boils down to experiences with people. My relationships, signs everywhere, and I'm just looking at the carnal aspect, like what I'm getting for that moment versus was good for me, and I went through what I went through. But again, it's a learning experience, and that's added to my testimony. Listen, I don't have no bitterness in my heart towards no ex, no nothing. Like, and I've been with women. Like, my story starts from women. So in my book, you're gonna actually see that how I actually had my first daughter was because I was involved with a female. She had a dude. We had a threesome. Boom. I was a whole lesbian raising a baby, okay? You feel me? And my mother was, her being in church, and she was like, I'm going to pray this away from you, and you're going to get married, you're going to have kids. And I was like, I would never be with a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, you crazy. And I met my second baby father. We was trapping together and stuff. And that was my pivotal point to leaving women alone. And really just, dealing with men. And even with that situation, to this day, like, I go through crazy stuff with him, but I got my blessing out of it, 2 kids. Even though I've had my kids in the shelter, I could be a bitter baby mother or a bitter female, but at the same time, after my rape, I was told I was never going to have kids. I was told that my cervix wasn't going to be strong enough to hold a baby for the full term of 9 months, and I've carried 2 babies full term successfully healthy. So my walk with God has nothing to do with the church, has nothing to do with my mama or what people say. There are things that I went through in my life that I don't know how. How? Like, both my kids, I was dilating at 5 months. You dilate at 10 months when it's about time to pop that baby out. Again, I'm dilating at 5 months. And I've had both my babies healthy, vaginal birth, no medication, no epidural, none of that. My second pregnancy, I lose everything, and in 7 months, a guy literally falls out the sky and is holding me down till my daughter's 2 years until I was able to get on my feet. Can't nobody talk to me about the grace of God.
Can't explain it.
I'm pronounced dead after getting my last round of bus shots in 2014. You feel me? And I'm here today to tell my story. So, listen. Keep pushing, keep grinding. Pray for discernment over your circle. All money ain't good money. I had to learn that the hard way. Again, all money is not good money, because guess what? The enemy provides you with rewards and stuff like that too. You gotta work on that discernment.
What's next for Suzette?
So I'm writing a book. I feel like everybody want to tell a person what to do. I feel like life is full of choices. A person has to make that choice to want to do better, be better, experience better. So I feel like, women in my shoes need to hear my story. Needs to know that it's okay to put yourself first. I walked away from money. With spouses, relationships, TV, all type of stuff, for my mental health, for my well-being. You understand? And because of that, I can't really talk too much right now, but I definitely am in negotiation with other things that I have going on. And right now, it's just I really just want to get more in tune spiritually, because I feel like once that happens, everything else is going to take off. So that's like my main goal. But I have a story to tell. Listen, my goal is to have Tyler Perry or 50 Cent or somebody really make a movie of my life, because this is more common, especially in the millennial area. This is kind of like why girls are getting their body done. To be the next Jada, to be the next Ari, to, you know what I'm saying, to be in the spotlight. And everything is not what it cracks out to be. People don't know the behind the scenes. People don't know the gray areas. People don't know the unhappiness, especially in the era where we're dealing with social media, that you only see a person's highlights of the highs. You don't see the lows. You understand?
Never on social media.
Oh, man. Listen, that's a whole nother story. But, I just want to use my platform to educate, to inspire, to elevate. And, to any inspiring agents out there, like, I'm even taking agents under me now, to where, you go to school, get your real estate license. It don't even matter what state you're in. I'm forming a team. We're going to get you lit. And it's all about the transformation. Listen, we in a transformation season, okay? Let's cheers to transformation.
Fall is on the way.
And I'm doing this as a single black female. No man behind me. No
2 kids.
That. 2 kids, okay? 2 kids, 2 baby fathers, single parent.
From the projects.
From the group home.
From the group home.
The projects was awarded to me from being in the system.
That's crazy.
But, like, I had my daughter in the shelter, and our first home after that was sleeping on somebody's couch as a foster kid with my newborn daughter. Okay? So,
if she can, shit.
Listen.
Anybody can.
It's all about your circle, guys. If you don't have the right people around you, it's impossible to elevate. If you got them dream killers, the haters, the old girl, you bugging, you can't do this, or no, do this, but you know deep down you ain't supposed to be doing that. You gotta cut them people loose. Because if you look at your life, you can't go here when you got people trying to pull you down here. You understand? And we can only be attacked by the people closest to us. So a lot of y'all might feel obligated by your friends, family. Shoot, I had to cut my mother off for a couple of years. You know, my family was the main ones. So you ain't gonna be shit, whatever. And, you know, I had to pop up on them like, hey. And now I'm somebody that my mother could be proud of. Listen, I did the Instagram modeling. I did the OnlyFans. I did the magazines. My fan base in prison is crazy to this day. You understand? I did all of that. I did the clubs. I did the videos. I did all of that. And nothing is wrong with that. So this is not to shade, you know, the women that are actively in that lifestyle. But you really have to ask yourself, what do you want besides that? Because in 10 years, the generation behind us is going to be the next generation up for that. And you're going to look back like, damn, I used to make 10, 20, 30. You know, you don't want to be them people talking about what you used to do. What are you doing now? How did you use that platform to elevate you? How did you use that platform to start businesses and to do better for yourself? And that's what it's all about. Forget what the haters are saying. Listen, if you gotta do what you gotta do. A lot of these rappers is drug dealers and scammers on the low. They ain't making all that money off selling records, you know, but they're doing what they have to do to get to where they need to be at. And if that's where you at that pivotal point in your life, cool. But just have an exit strategy and know what you want to do, what it's going to take, and what you have to do to get there. And that's it. Listen, I ain't here to judge nobody. I done it all. Only thing I was never was a drug addict. I was never hooked on drug. I smoked my weed. I smoked my hookah. That was it. I done did it all. Okay? All. I'm going to let y'all imagination run with that. Do what you got to do to get to where you got to be. And then don't let nobody tell you, especially somebody with lower vibrations than you, that what you're doing is wrong, or you can't make it to the next level. You can do whatever you want to do to put your mind to it. Let's toast to whatever you
Period,
do.
man.
And we're both on this couch as living testimonies. Like, this man that came home it took him going to prison to even have the thought concept to like, yo, I'm going to start a podcast and allow people to tell their story. And listen, as God is my witness, we are in, what month we in? We're about to be in September this week. September 22. September 2023. I'm speaking life into this young man that he is, y'all gonna know his name. If y'all don't know his name now, y'all gonna know his name. Y'all gonna know his podcast. It's gonna be some people that done sit on his couch and got some therapy. It's gonna be some people that sit on his couch and it's gonna elevate because people done sat on his couch. God is gonna use him to allow people to tell their story and to become better. Because that's what it's about. We are here to uplift and motivate. You understand? The social media with us, you know, making fun of people going through everyday life. Who cares? Girl, your baby daddy doing the same thing, but you on the block. Nobody's highlighting it. That's the only difference. We got to stop laughing at each other and uplift each other and inspire each other and do better. You understand? We're here to do better. Mark my words, January 2023, if y'all don't already know his name, y'all gonna know his name. And y'all gonna be hitting him like, yo, I want to tell my story. Because this is where it starts. So I want to thank you for giving me the platform to speak, to be myself. Oh, damn, I got to catch up. In a non-judgmental zone. And just, you know, speak life and pour life into not only you guys, but into each other. Look, you in a zone right now. I already see it. You like, yo, you thinking. He thinking.
This was a special moment.
Yeah.
This is well needed for a lot of people, and I can already tell like it's gonna touch a lot of women, even men. You know, like looking at you, you don't get all that from you. You know, like you got so much wisdom, so much knowledge, so much passion of like, you know, what you've been through in life. And, you know, like this is gonna touch some people. And I appreciate the words you just gave me because, you know, that's all true statements. That's gonna come to fruition. Like,
listen,
you know, that's just confirming what I already believe.
Right.
So shout out to you. I wish you the best in everything that you got going on.
Thank you.
This was a dope interview. Maybe one of like the best interviews that I've ever had. So we're gonna end it right here. Thank you guys for watching.
Nigga free. Excuse my language.
Nah, fuck nigga free. Shit. Yeah, fuck nigga free.
I love you, Shonda.
Shout out to Suzette. I mean, no. Shout out to Shonda. Shout out to Shonda because she the one that set this up.
Yeah,
I met her in the halfway house, and she reached out to me. Beautiful lady. Seen her in the halfway house. I wasn't really stunting these women in there, but all the other guys was.
You have to throw that in there.
But yeah, she reached out to me and set this whole thing up and made sure that it happened. I'll be all over the place, and it's a lot of people that be trying to set up interviews, but she made sure this happened. And I'm glad this happened. So shout out to you.
Thank you, friend, for being my rock.
Matter of fact, just come sit on the couch. You know what I'm saying? Show you.
Yes, come introduce yourself, friend.
Come on, light skin.
This is a very special person to me. So during my transition in life, she was one of the people that.
Period.
I think you're like my only friend.
Yeah.
That lasted, you know, and it's because we was transitioning together. So I made a conscious decision that if we wasn't trying to elevate, I didn't need you a part of my circle. And to this day, you know, she speaks life into me. She called me like, girl, you need to do this podcast, you know, because X, Y, and Z, this is where we was at. This is what's going on. I think it'll be good for you. And I'm just like, okay, friend, if you think it'll be good for me, like, I'm open to it. And, you know, we met, we spoke, we connected. And, you know, you really did a thing. And I just want to tell you, just as a friend, as a real friend, you know, and this includes you telling me things I don't want to hear. Sometimes we get into a shouting match. You know, like, you're always there for me, right or wrong. And I want to tell you, I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you. And I'm excited to see what this next chapter has in store for the both of us.
I'm excited for the both of you and me too.
Yeah.
Because life is great.
Great.
For all of us, it's going up.
Right.
And we all know what hard times is, and you know.
Now she has a story too. We're gonna get to that maybe later on in life, but deep. So shout out to Shonda.
Shout out, Mrs. Bluff. Yeah.
You're so stupid.
We'll see what it'll be at the time, but.
Thank you guys for tuning in to the Rich and Unemployed podcast, and we out until next time.
We out.
That was great.
Friend, I'm gonna need you to get some different pants. It don't fit. It might a little bit though, cause it's like once you get it up there, it's up.
You know.
Yeah, I know.